Hello and welcome everyone to the Soul Freedom series. My name is Demetria and today is super exciting. Something's actually going to happen that has not happened before with my guest today. She's an amazing human being, first of all, and she is going to be channeling the spirit of money. And she has never done it before live. She's written about it, but today she's doing it live. So we are very blessed to be here at this moment in time. For those who do not know Caroline Oceana Ryan, she is an author, speaker, channeler who has channeled information from angels and spirit guides since she was a child. She currently channels the divine wisdom and higher energies of the collective, a group of higher beings that include ascended masters, angels and archangels, fairy elders, earth elementals, galactic family members, and other higher guides. They're all here to support us at this time as we ascend into fifth dimensional life. She's the author of 7 books, 5 of them channeled from the collective, and she's the author of Lennon Speaks, Messages from the Spirit of John Lennon, in which she channels the wisdom and insight of one of the 20th century's leading musicians and activists. Caroline is a co-host on A Night at the Round Table, and she has a YouTube channel, and she is the moderator of the very famous Abundance Group. So I know all of you will join me in giving a very warm welcome to Caroline.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, Demetria. Honored to be here.
And Caroline, thank you so much for being here. I'm just like, this is huge. I'm excited that you agreed to do this at this time because I think it's so important. It's such an important message, and I have questions, and if anybody does have questions, feel free. We may not be able to get to all of them, but feel free to put them in the chat. But yeah, I'll let you take it away, Caroline, for just to start off on how, if there's anything you want set up. But I definitely have some questions.
No, that's fine, Demetria. I would just say to everybody, as with everything that I channel, with all of my work, please just take what resonates with you as being true for and important and real for your path, and leave the rest, and don't stress over it. If something strikes you as sounding not right or not helpful to you, that's okay. Just sort of let that go. But otherwise, I'll get into channeling mode, and it just takes a moment. And then Demetria, the money, I suspect, will greet everyone. And then if you want to start asking questions at that point, perfect. This is funny because I haven't brought them in before, but okay. I was talking to them earlier, so I think they're happy to speak. I usually say they rather than he or she, because it's just sort of both feminine and masculine. So just give me a moment. Everyone just wants to breathe deeply in through the nose with mouth closed. And when you're ready, slowly breathe out through the open mouth. And that will put your energies into receptive mode. I am excited to be here today, dear ones. What an absolutely beautiful gathering. And it is so important to us to see so many reaching toward this new idea of a currency that is based on love, on generosity, on giving and receiving equally. And this beautiful round cycle, not the square shapes where the energy gets stuck in certain corners, which you call the elite or the banking system, but this lovely round cycle where everything flows and all energy flows. And remember that if you feel any part of your life is not going correctly, we would say, where is the energy flowing and where is it stopped up? That would be one question to look at. But if this dear one has questions, the lovely goddess who is guiding us today, we're happy to assist. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. One of the questions I had that came to me was, do you see your form changing? Like much like the human DNA is going from carbon-based to crystalline DNA. So the human body is changing. Do you see your form also changing as well?
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. And interestingly, we change, we shift as humanity shifts in terms of how you feel about currency. And look at that word currency. Again, it's current. It's about flowing energy. So what we see is that we are coming back into precious metals, coming back into the gold and the silver, the platinum, coming back into the diamonds and the rubies and the emeralds, etc. And these are actually not so rare as one might think, but they are treated as rare in this world. And that is so that certain people can make a great deal off of them, but no more with this sort of currency that is based on the air. We should always be based on that which is real. And at present, you have a system which simply prints more money. It's not based on precious metals or anything very real. It's based on other people's suppositions, and they're sort of, we want to just say gambling on the future. And there's the expectation of there will be worth and value to back this currency, but at present there isn't very often. And so this has harmed your economic systems. But we don't want to tarry on these ideas of lack of growth or the small-mindedness. We would say that the currency form that you are looking for is Nasara, Rainbow Roundtable. You'll hear that phrase, rainbowroundtable.net. And this currency is called rainbow currency, and it is Nasara. It is Nasara currency, and that is the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and that aims to free us from the unjust and very unequal economic system and into one that wherein we can really flow freely to everyone. There is plenty for all. This is an absolute lie, an absolute fabrication that there's a shortage of this or that. That is not so. That is absolutely not so. It is not so that only a few people can have, and the rest have to sort of scramble for whatever scraps are left over. It is not so that only some are worthy. And it is not so that one has to work very, very hard. Otherwise, one is not deserving of this very beautiful presence of gold, this beautiful presence of silver, and the flow of that, the flow of the energies of abundance in monetary terms. All of you are worthy. All of you are extremely worthy. And take a moment right now where you say to yourself with your hand in your heart, I am completely worthy of every form of wealth that is for my higher good. Say it and mean it, really mean it. And it isn't so that it's only for a few, or that, well, I'm not very good at this. I can bring in maybe some money this way, but not this other way. For instance, many prefer to work independently, and others prefer to work for someone else, but they find they're not working for the right people. So that money, as it comes to them, gets spent in ways that is a way for them to sort of mollify and calm and quiet the disquiet they feel inwardly. And so they spend it in ways that help them to forget the work week. And we would say, let's just release all of that. Let's do everything from a place of love. And believe it or not, if you started to take joy in what you do each day, even if it was just putting, shoelaces through a machine in a factory, and it seemed fairly useless and uninteresting to you. Nevertheless, if you took some joy in it, if you took joy in your coworkers, if you were positive, if you believed your day had meaning, very soon it would morph into that. And this is something that we could speak on for days, this feeling. And we speak to your friend who's known as Caroline in this life. We speak with her about this. If she feels a lack in this area or that in her life, we always say, get the feeling of having plenty in that area, and it will have to come to you because you're giving thanks, you're feeling wonderful, you're feeling full of this beautiful fulfillment and this completeness. Nothing good is missing, nothing good can be withheld from you, and you're just giving thanks for that, and you're relaxing, which is important for receiving. So this is a rather drawn out answer to your simple question, but yes, you are moving further into Nasara currency. You are going back to that which is going to be a form of real currency, whether it's tallied up in a digital way or an actual physical way, physical bills and coins. This is going to be one of the biggest breakthroughs that this planet has ever seen. Yes, yes, indeed.
Wow. So that was going to be one of my questions as well is, what is your take on, this very deep conditioning that, you have to work hard, or that you have to be very strategic. Actually, I do have a specifically with many things that I see where parameters are being put on you. People are developing these really intricate plans and saying, oh, I can take you to 6 figures or 7 figures. How do you feel about those parameters being put on you?
Well, we would say really this has to do with the energetic construct and outlook of each person, and that it doesn't come down so much to, well, this system works and this one doesn't. Whatever opens up in a person's heart mind, the understanding, the complete comprehension inwardly, and we mean really on an emotional level, that they are able to receive, then that system will work for them. If they feel that door opening from that particular system, that is wonderful, that is fine. However, people are able to open up on a heart basis, all right, on a heart level, and realize they have not been excluded and that there's a way for them to move forward. This is extremely positive. Now, what we would say that it isn't so that only certain systems or certain business platforms or certain jobs will bring a sense of financial well-being. It's not encapsulated in any one system. Simply that some systems, some advice, some templates for business or money handling, some of them are a door for a particular person or group of people, and it works for them. And they find themselves in that. And that's only because energetically, there is something there that they relate to. It's not the system itself. It may be the person describing it. Now, this channel, Caroline, will follow the work of Jeff Walker, who is a beautifully heart-centered person, service to others oriented. And she follows his work about how to launch a new product or a new service, and she finds that very helpful. Now, others also have their systems, but she enjoys following this fellow because she resonates well with him. He practices yoga, he meditates daily, he looks to assist other people, he gives away an awful lot of what he does for free. And so she resonates with that. And because of that, what he says, the beautiful imparting of knowledge and ideas from him just flows beautifully from him to her, as it has to many. And so she's able to use it because of that resonance. And it really is a matter of that. Every book, every system won't work for every person, no. Every form of using money to build something won't work for every person, and every form of money handling, financial comings and goings won't work for every person. Everyone comes in with their own path. And so to shame people and say, well, you haven't saved $500,000 for retirement, or you haven't done this, or you haven't invested in the stock market, or you didn't choose a profession that would give you a pension, or what, on and on and on, or bonuses every 6 months, etc. To shame them for that is sort of ridiculous, because everyone comes in to live a particular life chart, live out a particular life path via that life chart. And it's as if there's a note playing in the background in their life all the time. And then there's a series of notes, and each of those notes is a little different. One relates to relationships, and one relates to finance, and one relates to work and home life and travel, etc. And all of them are interplaying. And that is completely unique to that person, that energy signature. There is absolutely no way it's going to be exactly like someone else's, even when they try. And so we see this ridiculous, we want to say bizarrely unethical, strange, immoral, some would call it, shoving of people into systems that they are not made for and do not resonate with. And this strangulates their ability to receive, and it scares them out of the sense that it is safe for them to give. So this is just something that we ask people to look at. Whatever program you're working with, does it flow well with who you are? Is this a part of your truth? Is this a part of your path? Does this flow? The energy seem to have the same shape? You know, some people are an oval or a circle, and others a bit more triangular. So this is important, yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. So, can you speak more about that? Like the triangular versus the oval shape? Is it almost like are we evolving in shape, like collectively?
Well, what is happening is that the reason we keep mentioning round shapes and the oval and the circle, etc., is because as the divine feminine returns to human energies and human consciousness, to the earth very, very powerfully, the round is coming back in to the configurations of how people think and how they understand other people's energies and their own energies, and how particular human systems will work on them, and if they work for them or not, or against them. So the roundness, the reason we say that is because, yes, we would say in some ways to at least have rounded corners to buildings, for instance, ensures that the energy will not get stuck in the corners. When you have straight lines, and this is a principle of feng shui, if you have very straight lines, the energy runs very quickly down that straight line unimpeded, and then slams into the corner of the building, and it can get stuck there. And you notice that most buildings are not round. Now, for the indigenous peoples, they tended to live in round buildings, and or within the earth herself, tucked away into a cave dwelling, for instance, which naturally is sort of has rounded shapes inside of it. So humanity got away from that. And it's got to return now. It's got to come back in, because this is exceedingly unhealthy. And to think only in square and hyper masculinized ways in one's thinking is very unhealthy. Things need to circulate, things need to flow, energy needs to flow. And it's not natural, it's not a part of how things work in this universe, that things would run very quickly and then get stuck in corners. Everything needs to be flowing easily and moving easily. You won't see a river where there are very, very sharp turns. There's always a bit of an undulation there. There's always a bit of a curve, because the water will ensure that it's able to flow forward easily. And when water gets stopped up, this can create many, many problems. So that's just one example, for instance. There are many in nature, yes.
That is actually very helpful. I'm having a big insight, and I'm sure many are as well with this corners. So that's kind of where stagnation comes from.
Yes.
Yes. So it's like you're following a very specific regimented plan that has been laid out, and you're following it kind of in this prescribed way. And then it gets kind of like you get that stuck where you hear people all the time say, oh, I'm stuck, I'm feeling stuck, I don't know what to do next, I can't hear. And it's because they've reached that corner. They're waiting for the external permission, instruction, and approval. Is
Yeah.
that the corner?
Excellent. This is an excellent point. They're stuck because they haven't infused the moment or the teaching or that area of their life with their own intuition. And that would create that rounded corner. That would create the flow. That would allow the flow. Intuition always opens things up to greater flow. Every person in that stuck moment that you describe is able to come out of that inertia or that confusion or disappointment if they will open up to what their own higher self is saying. And this is where the divine feminine comes in so beautifully, because the intuition, that is the language of the high heart, without question. That is the language of what does my higher self say, who always loves me, who balances left and right brain so perfectly. In fact, they're completely joined, the rational and the metaphoric and the intuitive, completely joined and working together symbiotically. There's never any need to balance because there's already a perfect iteration of that. So a perfect expression of it. So when one goes to one's higher self and says, this isn't working, the business isn't bringing in enough, or the relationship isn't working. And what's happening here? There's some quiet bit of wisdom that they need to relax into that they haven't yet received. And everyone can hear their higher self if they begin to learn. And this is why, as dear one, Caroline, and others will teach about, say, using muscle testing to get a yes or no from the intuition and start to open up to it. If you can't directly hear your team, you simply say, give me your ideas, let them pop into my head as if they were my own. And I'm open, I'm listening. And via infused thought, those ideas will come in, yes. Sometimes they'll send you a pretty loud outer signal over here. Say, pay attention to this, and talk to this person. You'll get an inner nudge, etc. Don't ignore those. Very, very important. If you want to get unstuck, listen to that. Yes, indeed.
Wow,
patient,
that is
patient with yourself.
that really is a new paradigm, would you say?
Well, it's the old one, but it's being rebirthed.
Yeah, a rebirth of the ancient
Inner wisdom,
yeah.
inherent wisdom. Yeah.
I'm really kind of inspired by this right now, and what would you say? Yeah, I mean, the other thing that's coming up too is the whole kind of dissolution of, looking for that external leader to kind of show you the way and take you to the next level, whatever that might be, whether it's spiritually or financially or I'm curious from money standpoint, because that's a big thing that comes up for everyone. Well, it's like, I want to do this, but I don't have the money, or I want to do this, but that's not. So what do you say about the whole paradigm of looking to, like, where there's a leader that's like above, above everyone else? And do you see it more as like more of the flow, where it's like, people hand in hand, resources flowing? Yeah, I'm just curious about that.
Do you mean, when you say leader, do you mean someone who is teaching about prosperity principles, or do you mean someone politically or socially who's a leader?
Yeah, so obviously everyone has their own unique signature and their own authentic gift that they're offering forward for everyone. But the old paradigm where it's like, I'm here, I'm special, I have this special, information, and then it just kind of is like gathering all of the resources really just for this particular leader. But it's like this kind of system that continually siphons resources into the leader, like whoever that, and that could be politically, it could be spiritually, it could be in business. What do you say about that paradigm?
I would say these are outer resources, and that what human beings have come in for is to experience their own inner resources, and that no one can ever take those from you. It is so that in your corporate structures and in your government structures, which now are one and the same as the corporate structures, There has been this sort of obedience to the leader and to whatever his or her requirements are of the masses. And this is not only short-sighted, but impossible. This is why it's not working. It's failing utterly, particularly in view of all the light coming into the planet now. So understand that whatever you create, even though it seems as if you're creating sales for a company, or you're working and paying a lot of taxes that goes to your government, or you're working hard and it goes to whomever, you know, could be the family structure, the community. Understand that really, inherently, you're working for your own growth, and those resources are really yours. The question is, are you drawing inner worth from them, or are you seeing the worth of your actions only in terms of the outcomes and the outpicturing, the outer forms? If you're doing work, if you're serving your community, if you're voting, all of those things can be beautifully fulfilling in and of themselves. It can feel wonderful to cast a vote and realize I have the freedom to do this. It can feel wonderful to go into the workday and say, I'm going to contribute my gifts to assist other people today, even if that only has to do with making some little widget that goes into a machine no one hardly ever thinks about. Nevertheless, you're offering your beautiful abilities and your presence, your life presence, which is that powerful energetic flow that that doesn't only animate the body, it animates all of your life circumstances. And you're offering that up as a beautiful gift to others, and you're allowing yourself in return the encouragement of seeing that you are creating. You are truly co-creating with this universe. So what some leader or other gets from it is really extremely temporary. That's more illusion than actuality. That the sort of money, for instance, that the billionaire who cheats his workers is achieving isn't real wealth. And that empire is toppling, and it's coming down upon their heads, and they're beginning to see the signs of it. They're trying to protect themselves now. They're doing an awful lot to protect themselves. And we would say that our energies, along with the Earth's, are shifting so dramatically that it's impossible quite soon that we would cooperate with those who are hoarding wealth and misusing it and abusing those who work for them and denigrating those people and their contribution. That's simply not going to work anymore. That entire paradigm is falling to pieces, and it's connected to a dark energy grid, which they have plugged our resources into as well. Again, that is failing. That is utterly failing. So a new system has to come in, and the old one is disintegrating so that that can happen.
Wow, thank you so much for that. As you're saying that, that's okay. I'm really feeling this profoundly, where it's like that old paradigm of like, you know, how do I make money? Right? That question of, instead of how do I make money, it's I assume money, you can't make money. It's more, how can I allow money, its natural flow through me, right?
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, yes. Our energies desire to flow to everyone who calls us in, who desires us. Absolutely. There's never any lack of desire. Now, keep in mind that some people have written into their life blueprint for this particular life that they won't have much, or that they won't need much, or that they'll only create what they need. They create that flow in the moment. So we would say that this distresses many people, and it isn't the easiest sort of way to live. If you want to rewrite that, you can. You can go into a meditative state, speak with your soul, speak with your higher self, and say, we have to revise this. That is absolutely possible to do. And shift your energies to where there is always a surplus. There's always quite a considerable flow, and not just a trickle or a just getting by sort of flow. So that is a great shift, yes, but people can do it. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, so it's, there really shouldn't be like the reason anymore of like, I I don't have enough money? Is there maybe a different, like when somebody says, I don't have enough money, what's a different, or what's a way to look at that that is more accurate?
We would ask to look into that particular person's situation because it would vary with each person. But let's say your average person who says that, who is maybe, they could be young, they could be middle-aged or older, and they have maybe had money a few times, but not in an ongoing way. And they have certain dreams they want to live out and preferences. We would say, for one, we would ask them, what do you do with money when you receive it? Do you give thanks? Do you give away a particular percentage to people whose work you believe in? Do you save? Do you offer to spend at least a small amount on yourself purely for joy? And are you giving thanks as you receive that money? It's not just a sense of relief that the money has come in, but a celebration of us, a celebration of our energies. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. And then don't shoo it out the door very quickly, as you were saying. Don't sort of release it immediately. Just enjoy having the currency there for the time being. And understand that it's sort of like, as this channel has noted in the abundance group calls, that if you have a friend and you say to them, you just never show up for me. I have plenty of work for you to do, and you just never show up. So what is going on? And we would say to that, you mean you don't really like our presence, other than the work you have for us, the chores you have for us, in other words, bill paying and groceries and whatnot. And the fact is, very little in life will draw to you if you only have a very strict, very practical need or interest in it. More will draw to you as you take joy in it. And this is why you'll hear about your favorite group having a concert nearby. It will just, the information will just flow to you without you having necessarily gone to look for that information, because you love that group and your heart is open to hearing about them, and you naturally match up with an opportunity to go see them live. And likewise, you're going to meet the person whom you expect to meet for your partner. What do you carry in your heart all the time about how men are, or how women are, or how love is? What is there all the time? What is the expectation? What is the mental image? And what is the inner dialogue? And then when you do have a male or female friend who means something to you, do you take delight in them? Of course you do, because you want them to stick around, don't you? And so it goes that way with everything. You treat the body well, you treat it with respect and kindness. This is one of the greatest forms of abundance one can possibly experience. We can't even compete with that. We can only do so much for you. We can maybe pay for a doctor or a spa session or a time to relax, but we cannot buy you, nor can you buy yourself, a healthy body and mind and spirit. You're going to have to walk that path somehow, even when there are great obstacles thrown in front of you. And you can all do it. You can dissolve the obstacles. But the first thing is the energetic resonance with what it is that you desire. And this actually goes beyond what you hear spoken of the law of attraction, because we feel when you step into that quantum field and you decide, this is what I desire to create. This is the new sort of up-leveling, as they say, into a new and beautiful and fulfilling life. We feel what you're doing is co-creating. You are truly creating in that moment. And yes, you'll resonate with the right people and objects and opportunities and ideas, but you're also creating from pure, raw energy. This is utterly miraculous. And this is where you are on this planet now. Yes, absolutely. Wow. So we would say to this person who says, oh, I never have money, we would say, but you have had it at some time, or you wouldn't know what experience you were referring to. Can you think back to how wonderful that was? How did that feel? Bring that feeling back into your body and just walk around all day being thankful for all the money that has come to you and is still coming to you right now. Absolutely. Come out of the fear and come out of the complaints or bitterness or feeling excluded by us. We exclude no one unless you close the door intentionally or unintentionally. And this is what people actually have been taught to do. It keeps you small, it keeps you feeling vulnerable and out of step and working hard, as you were noting earlier. And this is actually not helpful. This does not bring us. Those who draw in the most and have fulfilling lives, both of those, we won't speak of merely those who are wealthy and have unhappy lives, but those who are both fulfilled and have financial wealth really love everything about how they draw in money, whether it's a gift that comes seemingly out of the blue, or it's a successful business idea, or an inheritance, or they win a prize, or whatever the situation, a huge refund. It's endless, the ways in which we can come to you. But the question is, do you know that? Are you holding that in your heart, or are you holding in your heart, yes, I love money, but it just takes so much effort to bring it in, and it's just so annoying the way it just never comes in on time, on and on. Understandable, you were raised to live this way, but we would say you are working against yourself in those moments, dear ones.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us, kind of like some time off, right? Like that we can all just kind of relax and know that you'll always be there. And maybe you can answer this. I think someone has a question about being an elementary educator and wondering if, if you're in a job with set pay, how they can receive maybe more money than they're used to.
Yes, all right. So let's just do a process right now. And our writer has this, which a friend sent. It's sort of, you might call it, just a bit of probably cement that's got sparkles, gold sparkles on it, but it's wonderful to have at least one gold object. Ah, brilliant. Wonderful to have at least one gold object, whether it's pyrite or real gold, in your home, and place it near crystals. If you want to put a bill, our writer will have a $10 bill, let's say, underneath every now and again. Underneath these two, if she wants to magnify the energy of money, the energy of us in the home, which is absolutely beautiful. But so let's just do a process where if you want to close your eyes, go into the heart space, put your energies, your eye, the way you see the world, down into the high heart, which is right around the collarbone. So you're looking out at the world from that part of the body. And you see in the distance a beautiful presence, and this might look like a light being, it might look like a goddess in a gold or beautiful green flowing gown. It might look like a well-dressed gentleman or an angel with a golden scepter. Just pick an image that for you would feel to be our presence if you had to embody it, put it in a person. And now hold out your hands to them, to us, and see them flying over to you. They're just so overjoyed, as we are always overjoyed to work with all of you. And say to this lovely presence, say to us, this image of us, I desire to receive at least 2 or 3 times what I am bringing in now financially, the level of abundance, financial abundance that is flowing to me now. I would love to know you better. I would love to welcome you in that way and broaden the channel or add to the channels by which I receive you, money friend. I would like more channels of money, and I would absolutely love for some of them at least to be passive income. So money that I know is coming to me each month, that I don't have to work for, or I put out very little effort for, or both. And say to your higher self, I'm going to leave it up to you, and money, I'm going to leave it up to you as well. I'm going to leave it up to the two of you to work together to help me create this. I know the what, And I know the when. I want this to really, I really desire for this to flow to me starting within this next month or so. I welcome all ideas. I will be looking for all ideas to support this. I just leave the how to you. And I'm not going to let my left brain chatter inform me that it's impossible. I'm just going to celebrate and give thanks as if someone said to me, you know, you've got $30,000 coming to you very soon, or 50,000 or whatever. And I'm looking forward to that amount coming in the next few weeks. I'm so overjoyed. And periodically throughout the day or the evening, I'm going to think about it and give thanks for it. And what is going to come, dear ones, are ideas that are worth more than any particular monetary amount. So now hug this wonderful friend. Tell them you have full appreciation for who they are. You're thrilled that they're moving into Nasara currency. Affirm that every part of your life is just golden. It's full of golden treasure. And speak with them often and appreciate them. If you want to write out a list each day of things you appreciate about this beautiful abundance friend, then do that. But we would ask that you not feel as if you're alone in this, and that we are some unthinking, uncaring presence, because all forms of abundance have a consciousness, all of them. What we would do also is take out each of the bills in your wallet. Anytime you get new bills, do this, new coins, hold them in your hand, bless them with divine light, because they have come to you through a system which only serves itself. So you want to lift it out of that vibration and into a higher one. Yes. So we can't say for this dear one or for any one person a way to create more money without, when they're already exhausted from a full day of work. We would simply say, open up to receiving the ideas that are most joyful and perfect for you. Absolutely perfect for you. Yes. And be open as to how it comes in, dear ones. Be open. Wonderful.
Wow. Thank you, Caroline. I think we all feel just a little bit better about money. And can you let everybody know how they can find you? We have to head out now, but I do want people to be able to find you.
Yeah, I want to thank the Spirit of Money for being here. And I'm going to put my, oh golly, there we are. AscensionTimes.com is my my website, and you can write to me if you need to at support@ascensiontimes.com or ascensiontimes@gmail.com as well. But if you go to my website, you'll see that I offer channeling sessions. If you want to hear mainly from money, you can do that. If I can do that here for all of you lovely people, I can do it for individuals. Money always has a lot to say, total chatterbox. Or if you want to hear from the collective, either way, they'll connect with your spirit team, your guides, angels, and higher self, to show you where you're accidentally blocking out some bit of wisdom, or simply haven't thought of something yet, or information you just don't have because you can't see into your past lives or what have you. Oh, that was supposed to be a heart. Sorry. You're welcome, Vicki. So I'm always happy to work with people. You can do a just 1 or 2 or 3 question channeling, which is recorded. You send in your question and that's recorded, and you'll find, or you can do a full session, and that's on the channeling sessions page. If you want to be a part of the abundance group, you just sign up for that. Go to the tab on the menu there that says abundance group. You can sign up. You'll get reminders when each call comes around. That's free to join. The calls are free, open to everyone. If you want to become a member, you can do that. But at the minute, I am restructuring the abundance group. So probably that's not actually, yeah, I have sort of pulled that off the board for the moment. But oh, that's sweet. You're welcome, Valerie and Vicky. Yeah, so come January, I'll be relaunching the abundance group on a whole higher level. So yeah, yeah. Oh, wonderful, Yvette in England. Thank you so much, sweetie. So yeah, if you go to ascensiontimes.com, there's all those messages to light workers, which are really helpful. And there's also guided meditations offered in the series. You can choose one or a whole series of them, and people find those very helpful, and those are channeled also. So that's there for you. So thank you so much, Demetria.
Yes, yes, it's absolutely a pleasure. And hopefully we can do it again, because I always enjoy connecting with you. And anyone who does not know who I am, you can find me at liveyoursoulsdream.com or abundanceangel.org. And to everyone who has shown up today, thank you. Thank you, Spirit of Money. Thank you, Caroline. And yeah, thank you to Spirit for just bringing us all together and reminding us that we're not alone, and reminding us that we're always supported.
Yes,
no matter what we're going through.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely
Thank
beautiful.
you, everyone. Till next time, namaste. And yes, there will be a replay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.